Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today, and it is Football Friday. Loaded card with NFL, loaded card with college football. We're talking the SuperContest. We're talking Survivor. Everything is going to be covered today. Gianni's going to join us with the Steam Report. Teddy Coverage is going to join us to do Bears, Lions, Florida, LSU, and we're going to do Sell Me, where we get assigned a game and a couple teams, and we got to make the case on the spot for who's going to win. Marco's going to join us, talk his Steelers versus the Seahawks, Southern Florida and Miami, and he'll do the sauce of the week. Kelly in Vegas is going to join us to go over her winning week last week in the contest and what her picks are for this week. And then Dan and I, we both survived in Survivor, and we're going to give you our picks for this week. Let's get started. Let's bring in Gianni. Hit the button. Hit that like button. You guys know it helps the algorithm out. Good morning, Gianni. How are you?
Never better. Coming off a nice sweep. NFL Green Bay and NC State in college football. The football romp continues, baby. So everything's good heading into this weekend.
Well, let's talk. We got some college football games tonight. And, of course, we got NFL. What do you see in action-wise? Any lines moving? What are the syndicates on?
And before I forget, real quickly, over on WagerTalk, on the free picks page, there's 2 premium picks that I released for Saturday. Both are up there. Both are soccer. One's in the Netherlands. One's in Spain's second division. Both of those are up for free. Both 3% premium releases to my subscribers. So, again, check out the free page over at WagerTalk. Here's what we have going on tonight. Let me pull that up for you. In college football. Real fast. Houston's getting one-sided money. It's been all Houston. All recreational bettors on Houston. They're betting Houston straight. They're teasing Houston even, using like 6 and 7 point teasers, taking Houston down to like +1, +2. I'm seeing a lot of those bets in there. Just finding different ways to bet Houston. Money line parlays. Arizona and Kansas State. Here's what I got. Good information here. Sharp money on Kansas State for the game, okay? But also this morning, Arizona first quarter. So they took Arizona +0.5 in the first quarter, laying up to like -145, 150. I think that's way gone. I didn't even send that to my subscribers because that's way gone now. I think you got to lay like -170 to get that half point in the first quarter. But they do have Arizona in the first quarter. And then Kansas State for the game. Kansas State opens as a 1-point dog. They're now about a 1.5 point favorite. Public money's opposite. They're on Arizona for the game. So interesting information there. And finally, UCLA, New Mexico. Not a lot of volume there. Difference of opinion between the sharp money and the public. Public's taking the points with the dog. Wise guys laid the 14.5 immediately on the UCLA side, which pushed it up to about that 15.5, almost 16 earlier in the week. But like I said, some money's come back on the dog New Mexico since from the recreational bettors. So that's some of that primetime action for Friday.
What's that parlay pay? Arizona first quarter, Kansas State money line for the game. That's one of the weirder. It's one of the weirder same game parlays I've heard of. What do they know? Who's going to win the coin toss or something? That's an odd one.
That's a great point you just brought up. A lot of the first quarter bets in the NFL with the group that I was working with, that's exactly what they would narrow down. Those in the NFL, especially those coaches that would defer. You know what I mean? That had that reputation of wanting to play defense first. They found the slight advantage on the team that gets the ball first. Kind of like even they would bet third quarter, take advantage of third quarter, knowing that team gets this probability is they're going to receive the second half kickoff, higher probability that they'll have the lead in the third quarter. So it's just, they find different ways to bet those. It's awesome when you see that, you know?
Yeah. Let's move to NFL here. I'm not seeing too much line movement here on some of these games. What action are we seeing so far?
No, and it's because the betting public hasn't really gotten involved yet. There's a lot between now and Sunday. And again, most aren't betting with credit shops. They're posting up. So they're not going to tie up Sunday NFL money when we still have Friday night primetime college football, Saturday primetime college football, Noche UFC, Canelo Crawford. They're waiting until Sunday to bet the NFL. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot more line movements come Sunday. Because again, even the public doesn't get respect from the odds makers and the bookmakers, but they definitely bet enough to force line movements because they create a lot of risk for the books because their money far outweighs wise guy money when it comes to the NFL. But some of the NFL games they got out ahead at, New England Patriots at plus 2.5, didn't even need the 3 there. So they like New England to win the game. And under, we talked about Dallas Cowboys getting steamed up from 3 to -4 to -5. The Jets also down to that key number of +7. Indianapolis Colts plus 2.5, +2. Colts on the money line. So they really like the Colts. And then also faded San Francisco, with all their injuries. Yeah. Kittle on IR, Purdy injured for another, 2 weeks or so. So they're fading San Francisco. But I think the public's going to still back San Francisco because they don't seem to be worried about that. I'm seeing San Francisco already in some parlays from yesterday's NFL game and college football, because it gives you an idea of what they're going to do on Saturday and Sunday when they start parlaying the same teams. And San Francisco is one of those teams that are getting parlayed money line into already.
What games are interesting teaser wise from your perspective? I know last week was a big one. A lot of obvious candidates last week, but this week a little bit tougher teaser wise because it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of teasers that can cross these key numbers.
A couple teasers right now. And again, I like to wait until later for teasers because it sounds counterproductive because our goal as sports bettors is to beat the market, to get out ahead of the betting line. But with that said, to cash a teaser, you need the game to land near the number. So I need an efficient betting line. That's going to come closer to close. That's why I don't like betting them real early. But if kickoff was going on 20 minutes from now, I would be on the New England Patriots plus 7.5. Because it's a low total. You want low total. You want steam on the under. Low points means each point's worth more, so the total's more advantageous. You want low totals. You don't want to be teasing NFL games that are in the 50s, mid-50s. More scoring, more variance, less chance your teaser's going to cash. And then who else is offering me teaser?
That's Arizona, maybe? Get them down there.
Tampa Bay. Right now, that would be my teaser. It would be New England and Tampa Bay. I'd take New England up to 7.5, and I would take Tampa Bay up to 8.5. And with Tampa Bay, you have another low total. So you have two totals, 43 or lower, which is exactly what you want with a teaser. And you got two teams that you could go through 3, through 6, and through 7. Dude, that's a plus CV teaser right there. If you're laying less than 125 or better, that's a winning bet. Regardless of outcome, you place the winning bet. It's like walking up to the roulette wheel and there's 38 numbers and they're giving you 39 to 1 or 40 to 1. Doesn't mean you're going to hit the number, but you are getting the best of it. And that's exactly what that teaser is offering you. New England Patriots with Tampa Bay. I like it. I like it.
All right. I had to tell you, I had the weirdest text message. Somebody from DraftKings texted me and was like, "Hey, Andy, I see you haven't been playing a lot of NFL. Can we get you to play some more NFL?"
Wow.
I don't know what that says about me. That they want me. Sometimes they're trying to convince me to bet more.
Maybe you're helping them balance some of that risk, especially on those props. But you're doing well. Historically, most people don't do well on props. So if you're helping them balance risk, that's not always a bad thing for a book.
I've never had a sports book reach out to me and say, "Can you please bet more on this?" It was like I came off of a winning week. Fun. I guess like old Lang's not going to do it 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. Anyway, it was very, very strange. Never had that happen before. Let's go to baseball real quick. We do have a nice card in MLB. Yeah. Actually, we got a huge card. Ton of games here. What are we seeing on the bases?
We got some baseball action. I went deep today because we haven't really been covering baseball, and I talked about how with all the attention on football, all the attention on combat sports on Saturday, don't overlook the baseball. Money don't care where it comes from as long as it keeps coming. So pay attention to the baseball, but it's late in the season. So remember, you can't bet those teams in must-win situations. You can't bet those first-place teams. You're going to have to bet some bad teams that are undervalued right now. Here's what we got for baseball Friday night. 951 under 8 Pittsburgh Washington. 958 San Francisco plus 140. 959 under 8 Baltimore Toronto. 961 under 8 White Sox Cleveland. 963 Yankees minus 115 and under 9. 967 under 7.5 Tampa Bay Cubs. 972 Miami plus 185. 974 Mets minus 105 and under 7.5. And finally, 978 Minnesota minus 125. Told you I had some gold for you today. That's the baseball. Couple overnights, couple early hits, but I think there's still some of those numbers readily available for you to do some damage.
Awesome stuff, Gianni. What do you have up for clients today on this Friday?
All right, I have another primetime package for you. Thursday college football, already 4% in there. I have Saturday's college football pass. That's up, already number one in college football. We hit another one yesterday, a 4% on NC State. And I have a 5% up for Saturday's action. That card's in there already. And, of course, Combat Sports for Saturday, UFC Noche, and the Canelo Crawford combo package is there. And NFL for Sunday. If you're a month or greater subscriber, we have the Steam Room leading into NFL kickoffs on Sunday as well. Jump on board. Number one college football and NFL combined in 2025. That's not going to change. Told you coming in, I highly expect this to be one of the most profitable seasons. So far, so good. So appreciate all the people that jumped on board to start the season. Stay the course. Manage your risk correctly. We'll make some money between now and Super Bowl.
All right. Thank you so much, Gianni. Appreciate it. Good luck. Have a great weekend. Brother. Gianni the Greek, everyone. Football special starts today. $49. It gets you all football plays starting today and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Calling it the Weekend Warrior. This is discounted down to $49. Any play is included, all percentages. So got a 5% play, that's going to be included. It includes props. It includes parlays. It includes teasers. It includes money line spreads. Anything you want, pick your favorite handicapper, and you lock in this $49 price. It's a special discount. We're running it this weekend only. Get you all plays for college and NFL Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're throwing in Monday for free. That's over at the deals page over at WagerTalk. All right, let's bring in Teddy Covers. We got a lot to get to. We're going to talk Florida and LSU. We're going to do Sell Me. But Teddy, Bears, Lions, so many storylines in this game. Like, where do you want to start? You got Caleb Williams. You got revenge factor all over the place. We got the Lions as -6. The over-under 46.5. How are you on this Friday, first off?
I'm doing just swell, Andy. Although I had a wrong side last night with Washington, and that's where this handicap starts. You say, where do you want to start here? I want to start with the Green Bay Packers, of course, because we're talking about the Lions and the Bears. Why are we talking about the Packers? Simple. Last night's game with the Packers and the Commanders tells us something. And early in the season, when we're looking for data points, last week, Green Bay absolutely shut down Detroit. One-sided game. Detroit 2.1 yards per rush in that game, just 3.8 yards per play. The offense didn't work. Well, Green Bay just did that again last night to another team that's supposed to be pretty good offensively, And that's as bad as I've seen the Commanders' offense look since Jaden Daniels took over at the beginning of last year. I mean, Washington could not find open receivers. They weren't able to control the line of scrimmage. And that speaks to Jeff Hafley's defense for the Packers, which speaks to the Lions not being as bad as they looked last week, And when you read the quotes out of Detroit, the new offense coordinator John Morton, a guy with something to prove against Ben Johnson here, quote, nobody's in panic mode. Great attitude by the guys. How do we fix this? Because we're in the fix-it business as coaches. And, of course, this is an offense that led the NFL. They scored more than 33 points per game last year. And last week, they didn't get in the end zone until, the final couple of minutes of that. But the final minute, in fact, of the fourth quarter. They hadn't failed to score a touchdown for 4 quarters in any game since 2023 against Baltimore. So we would expect, given what we saw from the Packers defense last night, given the quotes out of Detroit's locker room, another one, Taylor Decker, quote, the missed assignments look really bad. Of course, Taylor Decker, a veteran offensive tackle, the missed assignments look really bad, but there wasn't like one guy's getting his ass kicked the whole game. Just a lot of things that we can control and we can clean up. So the quotes coming out of Detroit are right. Certainly what we saw last night from the Packers tells us this Lions offense has an excuse for how poorly they played last week. And they're facing a Bears team that, look, when it comes to confidence right now, Chicago can't be there. Complete collapse down the stretch last season, new head coach, Monday Night Football, everyone's all excited, and then a complete collapse in the fourth quarter again this season. And what was wrong? Well, Caleb Williams wasn't sharp. The team wasn't sharp. Penalties, 12 for 127 yards. The Ben Johnson screwing up the challenges. Ben Johnson screwing up the 2-minute warning and the kickoff. These aren't things that are going to give a struggling team confidence. So put it all together, and I'm laying if I'm playing. It's Detroit or pass for this better.
How did they screw up that kickoff? The 2 minutes thing, just blast it out of bounds. I think everybody in the stadium except the Bears knew what you were supposed to do. There was one thing you couldn't do: keep it in bounds. That was bizarre. But I guess growing pains for the first coach. So, what was your take?
Well, that's again when you have a first-time head coach from a franchise that hasn't had a whole lot of success. You're like, hey, do they have these confidence? Hey, do we have confidence in this guy? And when your coach screws up, you worry about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move to college football. Florida, LSU. Talk about teams with not a lot of confidence. LSU's minus 7.5 against this Florida Gators team. Over under set at 45.5. What's your breakdown on this one?
So again, when we're talking about this price range for LSU against Florida, the most basic concept in college football and across sports: buy low, sell high. All right. And it's a Florida team. We all know what happened. They lost at home to USF. They didn't play well. Clearly, given the circumstance, given the results, Florida was looking ahead to this week. It happens, and when we're thinking about the concepts of how to bet college football, I'm always looking to bet on a team in a step-up game after they just played poorly in a step-down game. That oftentimes serves as something of a wake-up call. And certainly, DJ Lagway had a bad week last week, bad interception in the third quarter. He's been good, and Napier's been good. Napier's best role is road dog. I got him at 6-3, 67% in this spot. Florida defensive end, Tyreek Sapp, giving a couple of quotes here, which is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the Gators. Quote, the last week's loss doesn't reflect who we are, because who we are isn't what we have done once, it's what we do consistently. More Sapp. This is a phenomenal opportunity. The best thing about it is we get to prove ourselves who we really are. So I love the concept of the team off a bad loss searching for redemption. And they know they can beat Nussmeier and the Tigers because they did it last year. All right. LSU hasn't moved the ball effectively yet this season. All right. I mean, they really haven't. They had an offensive line with all kinds of questions coming into the campaign. And in my mind, those questions have not been answered positively just yet. The center, Braylon Moore, may not play this week. He went down with an ankle injury the first offensive play. Last week, they have an injury at tight end as well with Trey'Dez Green, who's not likely to play this time around either. And the offense hasn't moved the football, So in this point spread range, Florida or pass for this better. I think the Gators are a clear choice given the circumstance and obviously given this attractive touchdown/touchdown plus level point spread.
Love it. Joe Ranieri, we were joking about they should put out a prop, who's going to be the first coach in the state of Florida that gets fired. This covers the NFL and college football in that respect. Curious, what if this line was 6.5?
I wouldn't. I need the full touchdown.
Yeah. The 1 point, all the difference in the world. So, all right, Teddy, let's do Sell Me. If you guys haven't joined us for this segment, it's just great. Dan comes on, picks an NFL game, gives Teddy a team, gives me a team, and we have to break it down on the spot and try and convince you guys who we think is going to win. I think we had the Bengals and Browns last week. So, Dan, what's our game? What teams, with that smile on your face? I think that smile on your face is telling us a big story.
I'm excited for this one. Much to the chagrin of the comments last week, we talked a divisional game, Browns, Bengals. I enjoyed the breakdown. I thought it was fascinating, but I scanned down the board this week, and guys, how can we talk anything other than the Super Bowl rematch? Yes, the homer asking you guys to break down Eagles Chiefs. Let's be real, it's a hell of a good game also that we're going to be having here on the board, and it's tight. You know, what are we seeing? Like pick 'em essentially. You got a 1-point favorite, road favorite that is. So Teddy, last week I made you break down the side that I didn't really care for. This week, you're going to tell me why my Eagles are winning in Arrowhead against Pat Mahomes, who doesn't really kind of lose at home as an underdog. Andy, you'll tell us why Pat Mahomes at home is the way to go. But Teddy, favorite on the road, Super Bowl champ, my favorite team. Tell me why they're winning.
So if I'm going to make a case for the Philadelphia Eagles, it's going to start with, did you guys watch the Super Bowl? Hello? It wasn't a close game.
Fair.
All right. Are the Chiefs better now than they were last year? I don't think so. And Casey, they're so due for regression. Not just regression, they're due for serious regression. No team in the league, even the Patriots in their prime, even whoever in their prime, you have a down year. You have a year where you don't win every game. And Casey, let's put it this way: the invincibility thing is gone. They were 17-0 in one-score games, and that just ended in week 1. Oh, by the way, who do the Chiefs throw to in this game? Do they have any healthy receivers? And that Kansas City defense, they couldn't stop L.A. How are they going to stop Philly? They couldn't stop Philly in the Super Bowl. I don't see them stopping them here. Eagles, clear choice, right?
Oh, I mean, Andy, you're fighting an uphill battle here. I get it. Chiefs, give the breakdown because, hey, let's be real. I mean, it's getting points, even if it is getting a point at home for Pat Mahomes. What do you think, Andy?
The Chiefs have not lost back-to-back home games since 2019. I will repeat that. 2019. So if you're telling me that the Chiefs are going to do something they haven't done in years, I don't know what to tell you. Teddy, who are they going to throw to? I don't know. And the Eagles don't know either. So how do you game plan for this? This is an Eagles team that only beat Dallas by 4 points. Like, you have all offseason ready to go, and the fact is if CeeDee Lamb could catch in the second half, you might be looking at a little 0-1 there, Dan. I'm not sure about this on the road. I get Andy Reid. I get Patrick Mahomes with their backs up against the wall. I get a team that does not lose back-to-back games at home. This is an easy pick for me. It's Chiefs all day, and I can't wait to go tailgate with my fellow Chiefs fans on this one.
All right, you heard the bell. The fight is over. Andy. Go Birds. Come on, you know we're going with the Birds. We love to break down there from Teddy Covers. We're going to grab a little water ice. We're going to celebrate a nice win for the Birds here. Come on. Comment below. Who do you think is winning? This is a hell of a matchup. It's going to be the game of the week, so a lot of people are going to be tuning into this one. Comment below and let us know who won you over, who sold you that NFL side. I enjoy this every week. I look forward to next week already, but let's go Birds in the mean.
Teddy, tell everyone what you have up for clients on this Friday.
Yeah, you're fighting an uphill battle when he gives me Philly.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
and you won last week, so we'll give you give credit where credit is due. We got great deals up right now. Obviously at WagerTalk.com, we got the short-term deal. All right, Weekend Warrior All Access Package. We have a 30-day special right now at WagerTalk.com. Every play, every day, just $1.99. And of course, we have a buy 3 months, get a fourth free. So short-term, medium-term, long-term packages, whatever you're looking for, check out my homepage, www.buzz.com/TC. Number 1 all time at Wager Talk with NFL 5% big ticket reports. We do have a 5% big ticket in the NFL on Sunday.
Nice. Thank you so much, Teddy. You're one of the big guns that makes Football Fridays the special day that it is. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and tell the fam we said hi. Always appreciate having you on. Teddy Covers, everyone. Make sure you're hitting that like button and leave a comment in the comment section if you're watching after the live show. Tell us who you like this week. Tell us who you like in Sell Me. We got Kelly Stewart coming up to talk about the Super Contest. But first, let's bring in Marco. I think you just get the Steelers every week, and you obviously did something right because you got a good college game this week as opposed to one that's not a 28-point spread. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm doing good. And Andy, they left you out on an island there giving you Kansas City, but I'll give you a little stat to help you. And this is courtesy of Mark Lawrence. Patrick Mahomes in his career as an underdog or a pick'em, 17-2 against the spread. Just think about that a little bit. And that's courtesy of Mark Lawrence. So,
all right.
there you
All
go.
right.
They're just trying to give you a little assist.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yeah, but Dan came on with that smile on his face. I knew what was coming.
Oh, you know, he's sneaky that way.
Yeah. All right. So Steelers fan, what was your takeaway from week one? You encouraged? Smoke and mirrors?
I was ecstatic because it was the emotional hedge bet for me. I had the Jets plus 2.5, 3 points in my pocket, and the Steelers win by 2. Does that get any better than that for me? I got to enjoy my wings on Sunday morning watching that one. But, hey, I said it at the beginning of the season, and I'm going to continue to go that way until it loses. I'm betting against the Steelers at the beginning of the season because I think they're going to be an overpriced commodity. But with that said, when we break this one down, something just doesn't smell right this week. I think they're really begging you to take Pittsburgh this week, and I'm not buying it. I'm looking at Seattle in this one, and when you look about what we had coming in, we had all the hype with Aaron Rodgers before the season started, but nobody really knew what to expect because we didn't see him in the preseason. So what's he do? He goes out and throws 4 touchdowns opening week, no interceptions. So now that's, the lead of SportsCenter, Aaron Rodgers and everything else. And, what he's, done now with a third team, blah, blah, blah. Yet the Steelers are coming home. In his debut is a Pittsburgh Steeler home opener. They're only a 3-point favorite. This same Seattle team was an underdog at home last week and lost. Pittsburgh was a road favorite and won, and yet this line's only a field goal. Tell me they are not begging you to run to the window and bet the Pittsburgh Steelers. What got lost in the shuffle of everybody, the talking heads wanting to praise Aaron Rodgers, is the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which was supposed to be the vaunted side of the ball for the Steelers, gave up 32 points to the Jets and Justin Fields. Now, granted, I said going in, I expected a big game from Justin Fields. He had something to prove. But are you kidding me? 32 points they gave up in that game? Not doing it, guys. I'm taking Seattle plus the points. And, I've got Seattle winning the game 20-17. I would be very happy if I'm wrong and it's 21-20 Pittsburgh, and then everybody's happy.
How many more weeks of healthy and rejuvenated Aaron Rodgers are you going to get, realistically? If I set the over-under at 5.5 more weeks.
Well, Pittsburgh got off to the fast start last year, if you remember, too, and we know what happened to Russell Wilson in those final 6 games, and it looks like it carried over to the start of this year. I think the over-under you need to put up is how soon before we see Jackson Dart in New York for the Giants.
Might be halftime. might be over under half. So let's go to college football, and then we're going to do your sauce of the week here. Let's talk University of Southern Florida and Miami. This USF team, they were kind of the stars of week one, and maybe not a fluke here anymore. So what's your breakdown on this game?
Well, normally, Andy, when I have these type of games, and I refer to them as big brother versus little brother, you have an in-state battle where, obviously the little brother's going to try really hard. They want to take the thunder away from, the bigger teams in the state. I would be looking to take South Florida. However, we've got a unique situation here and especially there was a caveat to this. Look at who Miami plays next week. You want to talk about, this would be a great look-ahead spot. They play Florida next week. So easy to look past South Florida. But, let's give a little shout-out to Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend, because Miami got put on notice. South Florida beat Florida last week. Now, if they wouldn't have done that, this would have been an easy look-ahead spot. Because they did pull that upset last week, Miami of Florida is not going to look past them. Okay, they're going to come prepared, ready to play South Florida. And you're asking South Florida now, not only to step it up and go out on the road for a second week in a row against another big brother. You played Florida last week and beat them. Now you're playing Miami of Florida. This is their third straight game that they're playing a top 25 team. If you remember, in the first week, they played Boise State, and I think that game was either on a Thursday or a Friday night. So, it was a TV game, standalone. You had a lot of tension on you. This team right now, can they get it up for a third week in a row? I don't think so. And I know we don't like laying points with Miami of Florida. We've seen them blow some big leads last year. But let's look at the offense. Everybody was going to question what was going to happen. Cam Ward gone, number 1 draft pick. Carson Beck, and, we had a lot of speculation which Carson Beck was going to show up at Miami. Was it going to be the Carson Beck we saw 2 years ago or the Carson Beck that we saw last year? So far, it looks like 2 years ago, Carson Beck. He's playing well. Now, granted, one was against a good team, Notre Dame. The other one, well, not so much. You played a cupcake in Bethune-Cookman. But I like what I've seen so far. They haven't turned the football over. They're playing balanced football, running the football, passing the football. I think they get the job done here. Now, we have seen this line move a tad. It was sitting at 17 for a good part of the week. We got to lay that extra hook now with them. But I just can't take South Florida in this particular matchup. It is Miami or pass for me. I've got the game Miami 41-17. I'll go ahead and lay the 17.5.
Wow. You're predicting an ass kicking, not just a little win. Wow, a full blown blowout. All right, Marco. Sauce of the week. It was shots fired to Arch Manning last week with your sauce of the week. It was great. What's your sauce of the week, and which team or player are we talking about?
Okay, what we're going to talk about. The sauce of the week is going to be garlic parm. Okay, garlic parm's great, man. You're eating that, and you love the garlic and everything. But, and it's really good. But the more you eat of it, sometimes you get a little bit of heartburn, and then sometimes you get to enjoy it the rest of the night because you're burping it all night long. Okay. That team is Connecticut. Okay. And you Connecticut. Here's what happened. All right. We sit down. They get off to a great start. We got Connecticut plus 6.5 or 7, depending when you bet it in the week. They jump out 7-0. Then it's 7-3, still winning outright. Then they go up 14-3 with just a minute 2 left in the first half. Syracuse drives down the field, kicks a field goal as time expires to end the half. Got a little bit of momentum, but we're still up 14-6. We're getting a touchdown. This is great. We open up the third quarter. We get the first score. We're 17-6. We're up. We're cruising. We go to the fourth quarter. Let's fast forward, man. I'm like, right now we're at about a dozen of those garlic wings. Start to sit there a little bit. Syracuse scores a touchdown, 53-yard TD with 5:41 left on a 4th and 4. Okay, that was game over right there. They don't convert there. Not only do they convert, they go to the house. Well, they go for 2. Smart move. You want to try to cut it to 3. They missed the 2-point conversion. All right, we're still good. Still 5 minutes. Well, Syracuse gets the ball back. They score a touchdown with 48 seconds left in the game. They're up 18-17. We're still good, but they're going to go for 2 naturally because you want to try to get it to a 3-point game. They connect on this 2-point conversion. We're still good. There's 48 seconds left. All right, bring the bill. It's good. The wings are good. We're out of here. Connecticut drives down the field in the final 48 seconds to kick a 41-yard field goal to tie the game. 1 second left on the clock. We go to overtime. Syracuse gets the touchdown. I'm burping garlic the rest of the goddamn night. There it is. It's Connecticut. What can I do?
Connecticut. Tasted so good at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it's just burning your heart. I think this might be my new favorite segment here, Marco. That was really good. Ripping on Arch Manning, ripping on Connecticut. That was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So you got. I know we did bet on it this week. Tell us about that. Tell us what you have up for clients.
This weekend is the big weekend. It's the 49 Weekend Warrior. Now, that Weekend Warrior Pass, you get all the football Saturday and Sunday, and you get free Monday Night Football for any of the cappers that have a Monday Night Football play as a bonus. With that, I am going to have a 5% play over the weekend. It'll be my first 5% this football season. And guys, last 19 months, I don't release a ton of them. We're 31-13 over 19 months with our 5% plays. We've got that up. So head on over to WagerTalk. And not only for me for the $49 deal, it's a site-wide special. You can pick up any your favorite cappers for $49. And quick shout out, yes, check out Bet On It, the college and pro edition. And selfless plug for myself, check out Marco's Deli. We have that. We had the first edition of that show last week. We went 4-1. We give you some of the games that didn't make Bet On It with my sandwich plays, my trap games, and things like that. You can check it out. We've got 5 more free plays in this week's Marco's Deli. That's available on our YouTube channel.
Awesome stuff, Marco. Great segment, great breakdowns. Good luck on that 5%. Let's keep that winning percentage up. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, Marco. All right, guys. We're going to do all around the world, and Dan is going to jump on and give us a 9-1. I repeat, a 9-1 prop for this weekend. So let's do some free plays. We're going props edition here. Let's go to the Bears and Lions. Caleb Williams to not throw an interception. He just doesn't really throw interceptions. He has 1 interception in the last 12 games. This is a great stat. In his career, he has 52 incompletions that he overthrows, which means he's throwing the ball out of bounds a lot, and he's not throwing it to the other team. So this prop is an absolute, it's awesome. The price is great. He just doesn't throw interceptions. Going to Seahawks and Steelers, Kenneth Walker over 1.5 receptions. It's juicy. I don't care. He had 3 last week. He's gone over in 3 straight games, and I watched that game. Zach Charbonnet had more rush attempts than Kenneth Walker. Walker may be the third down back that's catching passes. So he goes over this. You're going to see 2.5 next week. And then it's just the gift that keeps on giving. James Cook, anytime touchdown. He scored in 15 out of the last 19 games that he's played, and he scored in the last 2 games. He plays the Jets. This thing's still sitting at -125, -130. This is a rinse and repeat. Play it every single week. So there's 3 NFL props for you. All right, Dan, 9-1. You have my attention.
We like 9-1s. Yeah, we like 9-1s. And Andy, yes, this is a football Friday, but Kelly Stewart going to be ending the show coming up, and her Denver Outlaws are in the PLL Championship.
Yes.
This Sunday starts at 12:30 on ABC, so we at least have to have something in that game. You can head on over to the Blue Book, and you can get Jared Bernhardt plus 950 to be the championship MVP this Sunday. Because it's Football Friday, I won't belabor you. I'll just tell you the last time he faced off against the New York Atlas, 4 points, game-winning goal in overtime. Why did he have such success? Is because Atlas denies your attackman. Jared Bernhardt runs out of the box. He plays midfield. If the Denver Outlaws win the championship on Sunday, which that's the way that my money's going, Andy, it's going to be because of Jared Bernhardt having a large game. So this guy should be more like plus 450, plus 600 maybe. He should be in the top 5 favorites. Instead, we're getting 9.5-1. Jared Bernhardt, championship MVP for the Denver Outlaws. Go Outlaws this Sunday. Sorry, I can't root for a New York team, Andy. I just can't. Again, 12:30 on ABC this Sunday. Lead into football with some PLL action. And you got a 9.5-1 ticket there, Andy.
Well, we also can't root for him because we got a future on Denver. So that's
we all,
yeah,
that's like 10-1, 12-1. Our future on Denver.
We got. I mean, we get Bernhardt MVP and
clients
Denver to win. That's a massive. Yeah, these are all clients' plays that we have locked in. So great work, Dan. We're going to talk to Kelly, then you're going to come back on and we'll talk Survivor. We do have our NFL prop pack that is up, guys. It includes all props that we have for Sunday and for Monday. Anything that we put out, we went 8-6 last week. I keep saying, give me 8-6 every single week. I will be very, very happy. So 1-1 last week. We had a sprinkle on a pretty big underdog. Just barely missed that one, but we did get home with the Jordan Love no interception prop. But expect anywhere from 10 to 12 props and plays in that pack. We're a lot more high volume this year. So 1 pack, 1 price. That is up at WagerTalk.com. UFC plays will be going up this evening after we confirm everything in weigh-ins, and we'll have our 4% college football team total of the week. All right, let's bring on Kelly. Kelly, congratulations. Week 1, off to a good start in the SuperCon.
3-2. Listen, it's a profitable weekend. Picking 5 NFL games a week is hard. I only have 2 games I actually bet this weekend. You were bothering me this morning almost as much as Prez. Prez was driving me nuts this morning. I'm like, Prez, it is Friday morning, college football NFL season. All jokes aside, I had to push really hard for that 5th pick. And some weeks are like that in these contests, right?
They're
Again,
tough.
If you got my 2 plays on Bet On It, which we'll go over here in a minute, those are the only 2 games that I bet money on. Last weekend, I had money, I think, on 3 games. I went 2-1 with my hard-earned dollars. It is what it is. We're going to keep on rolling into week 2.
All right, well, let's take a look at your plays. Walk us through them real quick. Hey, 3-2? Man, I mean, listen, some people went 0-5 and they're already out of it. They're already out of it after 1 week. By the way, 20.
Like my college plays. Thank you so much, Marco D'Angelo, for reminding me how I lost UConn in gut-wrenching fashion. Happy Friday, buddy.
Yes. All right. Well, let's take a look here. We're starting with the Jags here. You got the Dolphins, the Chiefs, Jets, and the Ravens. All right. What do you like about these teams?
The Jags is one of the only teams I actually got to the window on with my hard-earned money. Here's kind of the tale of the 2 games that I bet. I bet teams that looked really good and teams that looked really bad. Well, that happened to be one of the same games. The Colts played Miami last week. Your Colts could not have looked better. Yes, I know. Listen, if I have to own the Denver Broncos, you have to own the Indianapolis Colts, okay? Like, that's how this is.
Be happy to own them.
You own them. They looked great last week. And I think they're getting a little bit too much love here in the marketplace this week. That being said, we'll see kind of how things start to play out in that game. But let's go back to Jacksonville. Well, let me finish Miami. Miami couldn't have looked worse. Absolutely could not have looked worse. You had Tua. Everybody hates him. He sucks. That's what the internet was telling me anyway. And then you have Mike McDaniel, where everybody is trying to fire the man week 1. Like, does he have the hottest seat? Maybe him or Brian Dable. We'll find out. That being said, I think there was a gross overreaction. Miami 9-0 against the spread in the last 9 games in the series, 8-1 straight up. Miami's going to win this game. I laid 1. This is a nice stale line in the contest too, guys. That's some of the things that are great about the contest. +1 in the contest. Come on. So look around there. There's great places to find some value. I think I do not have the odds logic screen up. Sorry. I should. That's part of my job description. But I think it's 2.5 pretty much everywhere now, isn't it, Andy?
Yes, it is. But you got the line locked in. So they give you those lines, and you gotta take them.
And that's what you got to work with. We've seen lines move 7 points in a contest because Kirk Cousins is out, or Aaron Rodgers is out, or crazier things has happened. And those are some spots where you could really take advantage. And I think everybody should. Now on to the Jaguars, as Prez likes to call them. Here's an interesting thing. I bet against Cincinnati last week, and I thought they looked really bad. But I think they actually aren't that good. 141 total yards of offense. They are just struggling. And the Browns are one of those 3-2s that I got last week. I can't believe Cleveland lost that game. The Bengals needed turnovers, missed kicking is for losers moments. It was just abysmal. This Jaguars team looks so much more complete. I think Trevor Lawrence is a buy spot for all your fantasy teams. If you have an opportunity, I had to pick him up this week because, of course, I had Brock Purdy. That's how fantasy goes for me, Andy. Oh, by the way,
that's brutal.
Had him handcuffed with George Kittle. So you got San Francisco 49ers can blame me for that. I'm telling you, the fantasy curse for Kelly and Vegas's team is real. And the Johnny Detroit Big Money League, we've got all sorts of great, brilliant people in there, poker players, Scott Van Pelt, Cousin Sal, Clay Travis, all these guys are in it. And every year, one of my top guys gets injured. This year, it got 2-for-1 special week 1.
Well, never forget when Johnny and our friend Jay drafted Brian Robinson a couple minutes after he got shot.
That did happen, and I made
that was a
fun of
real
them for
thing
that
happened.
The year that I got the number 1 pick, we drafted Le'Veon Bell, and then the league voted against me to let me trade him for Todd Furman. And no, I am never going to forgive them for that. I am coming for blood. I am coming for fantasy football hate. Trevor Lawrence, take me home, baby.
Good luck. Good luck with Trevor Lawrence. I thought he was going to throw for multiple touchdowns last week. He only had one because that's what Trevor Lawrence does. He just comes up just a little short. So, all right, Kelly, what do you got going on for this weekend? What do you have to promote?
Yeah, let's see. I'm not going to be on last call tomorrow. Joe Madden's going to fill in for me. I am going to basically what is the only thing that could be worse than a football season wedding. I'm going to Disney World for my friend Katie's 40th birthday. Don't you worry. I'm going to be the you-know-what on my phone the entire day. So right after this, I'm headed to Orlando. You guys can absolutely destroy me in the comment section. This is the worst thing that can happen during football season. Not a wedding, even though I have two of those. People think they're doing me a favor by having on Fridays. Okay, I'm done.
No.
Rant over.
I can't imagine.
Disney World.
Kelly
Disney World.
at Disney World.
Thank God the K-State game's tonight. I'm going to watch it on my phone. I'm going to drive up in the passenger seat with my laptop. Everybody leave me alone.
All right. Well, have fun. Try and enjoy yourself. Have fun with those $20 hot dogs.
I'm going to go drink around the world at Epcot.
$18 water. Yeah, exactly. Yes, drink all around the world. All right, Kelly. Well, have a great weekend. Try and have some fun. Good luck. And hopefully we see you again next Friday with another winning week in the Super Contest. Good luck this weekend. All right, Dan, Survivor time. It's your
Oh, there it is. The graphic lives another week. That's why we have to keep on surviving.
We got to keep
winning.
winning.
We can keep using the "I Will Survive" the Andy Lang and Dan Alexander story. Needs to happen.
Yeah. All right. So we did great. I think everybody did great in Survivor last week. So
we all had the same teams.
Everybody everyone kind of had the same thing. So, all right, this week it's a little spicier. I had my nominees. I was looking at Rams over the Titans, maybe the Lions at home versus the Bears. I used Cardinals last week. They're at home versus the Panthers, Chargers at Raiders, Cowboys at home versus Giants, Ravens at home to Browns. So let's pull up the graphic, and without us even talking, we landed on the same game here. So we're both on the Cowboys. I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk us through the Cowboys.
I'm kind of breaking one of my cardinal rules, and that's don't waste a survivor pick in divisional games simply because they're divisional games, right? But for me, this hasn't been much of a divisional rivalry, Andy, since about 2017? 15-1. 15-1, the Dallas Cowboys record against the New York Giants since 2017. The last time that the Giants beat Dallas was in 2021, and Andy Dalton was under center. So this one for me, the Cowboys are one of those teams, especially with the new head coach, you have to find a way to, in my opinion, use them in a spot early. Because Dallas late in the season is when question marks are crazy. And let's be real, Andy, the people who sweated out an Eagles pick last week because they were huge favorites wasn't a great pick. Like if CeeDee Lamb didn't get the dropsies, you have a 1-0 Dallas team returning home. So instead, because he did, you have a pissed off Dallas team returning home against a team that they have absolutely dominated and a team who, sure, they kept it close against the Commanders for most of the game. I think we learned last night, maybe the Commanders are that regression candidate that you and I said heading into the year. So Cowboys for me, and I joked with you before we hopped on. I was like, if I get knocked out in week 2, let it be because the Dallas Cowboys are 0-2. So that's the homer in me of the emotional hedge that if I get knocked out of Survivor in week 2 because the Dallas Cowboys lose against the Giants, I can live with that. I don't think we do, Andy. I think the Cowboys are in for a big win this Sunday. Actually, one of my contest picks is laying the 5.5 with the Cowboys. That's a game I bet myself to. I like them a lot this weekend.
Yeah, my reasoning was really simply Russell Wilson. If he's terrible, like he gets benched, and maybe Jackson Dart is pretty decent. So how much longer can we fade this Giants team? They were awful last week. So we have a lot of entries in the Bet Online contest. So each week I'm just putting in one of them. The favorite, the biggest favorite on the board, that happens to be the Ravens this week. And for my absolutely disgusting sleeper, could you play the Saints with Mac Jones at quarterback against San Fran? I don't have the onions.
That's
I don't
gross.
have the plums.
That's
it's
gross.
It's disgusting, but
I mean, that game is disgusting. And for that reason, I feel like the 49ers laying 3 points might be one of my contest picks because we'll be one of the only people with that as a contest pick.
yeah, I probably can't talk myself into burning an entry on the Saints this week. But I thought that might be interesting. So, all right, Dan, thanks very much. Hopefully, we make it through to next week.
Let's survive.
Yep.
Let's
Good luck to all of us.
So this
Good luck to all
can
of us.
survive. Yes, indeed.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on Football Friday. Make sure you hit the like button, leave us a comment. Tell us who you like between that Sell Me segment between me and Teddy, the Eagles or the Chiefs. And it's been a great week of segments. Thank you to all the guests and thank you to you guys in the chat. You guys are the reason why this show is a success. Let's have a great weekend. Let's be back Monday to talk Monday Night Football and get you ready for next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. Good luck on your bets and take care.